Here we go. Well, I spent 8 days in the hospital and 12 days in rehab. And Wednesday, I was released.
Good.
And I had a gallstone removed, an operation to remove the gallstone. And the next day, another operation to remove the gallbladder. It's 2 operations, 2 days in a row. After the gallbladder operation, I said, you can go home. So they put me in rehab. So while I was in those 20 days, you know, when I left, I was strong. So when I came on, wow, and I thought, oh, it's because I practiced 4 healing modalities, which I'm going to tell you about it real life. The first one I did was Jinshin Jitsu. And I used to see Rosemary Myers down in Southampton, and she would do Jinshin Jitsu on me, and then I bought the books and stuff like that. And so I'm in bed there in rehab, and I think, oh, last 4 days I thought, I did Jinshin Jitsu very easy. All you do is you just hold a finger, hold it for a while, feel the heat, or maybe, you know, maybe some thumping, just hold it for a while. Go to the next one, and the next one, and the other one. Okay, so man, good. I don't know. Find out what organs those are, because you have 5, you have the meridians, they end down here. Which organ is this? To my surprise, I mean, of course it's an organ, but this was an emotional healing. The thumb is worry. The opposite of worry is wondering. You know, when a baby comes into the world, it's like, oh my God, you know, the baby's like, oh, what is this? And you just keep wondering. And next thing of fear. The opposite of fear, faith. It's not faith, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. No, I have faith. I'm going to be okay. That's right. No matter. The middle finger. Well, we know what the middle finger is. That's anger. Okay. What's the and what's the opposite of anger? Acceptance. Anger is judgment. When you're not judging, you're accepting, allowing everything to be as it is. Maybe you don't like it. Okay. And maybe you even get angry about it. You accept that too. Accept. That's my way out. Again, that's forgiveness. That's forgiveness. Ring finger is greed. You've lost someone. What is the answer? What is the opposite of greed? It's resilience. Make sure. Serenity. Serenity. It's serenity. Which is a surrendering and allowing and accepting and being at peace. Okay. And the last one is the little finger, and that's pretense. How you doing? I'm great. Yeah. I'm pretending I'm okay. But what's the opposite of it is trust. Trust. Trust where I'm at with this all. Trust that it'll all be okay. So here we have, and you do it the other side. Oh man, I came up with it. I feel, man, I felt great. Because I think of all these things, you know, and I was doing it daily. So that was one of them, Jinshin Jitsu. Back in 1997, I looked it back up. I went to see this woman in New Jersey, and she did healing on me once a week. After a month, she said, oh, you can do it yourself. Go buy the book, The Medical Assistance Program. Read chapters 1, 3, and 5 and do it yourself. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. All right, so that's the co-creative White Brotherhood Medical Assistance Program. So there's 4 aspects to it. There's I see, I'm remember myself forget things. So there's the overlighting diva of healing. She's the big hot shot of the whole group. And then there's Pam. And then there's my White Brotherhood medical team. Now, when you first do a mat session, they will scan your body, look over, and you also will tell them that, oh, this woman has MS. Oh, this woman has just, hey, George, you're really good at MS. You be on this team. Oh, she has digestive problems. Miriam, you're good at digestive problems. You be on this team. So they will assort, a whole bunch of specialists on the other side, and that'll be your team. And then at the end of it, they'll tell you the name of your team. And at that time, Princess Diana had just died. So the name of my team was English Rose. Now my friend Marcy Hurst, she was doing this also. And the name of her team was Geronimo. So, and if you're interested in it, I'm sure you can still buy this book. And they've updated it. But that's what I would do for a whole healing for my body when I was in the hospital and rehab. The next thing I did was Cthulhu. Cthulhu's like Reiki. It came out at the same time Reiki came out. Frank Holman channeled it, but he didn't market it like Reiki. So nobody knows about it. Everybody knows about Reiki, but it's still alive. And I met Vera Kragnes. I was in Levittown at the time, and I was going to this center there. And they offered this, and I met Vera Kragnes, who was a co-author of this with Frank Holman. And she taught me, and it's really basically 5 symbols. And there's maybe a couple more, a total of 7. And so you open it up, Tamarachi Cthulhu, and then you do the symbol to connect your hands. So like I would be working on my gallbladder. So my gallbladder, or my lack of having a gallbladder operation. The gallbladder, I put it on my solar plexus. So I connect these 2 hands. Then I do the hand, and then I disconnect. But you could go through your whole body, do all the chakras and stuff like that. So that's what I did for specifics. And so then when I was in doing Cthulhu, Frank Holman had a card, and that's what I've given you. And this is the Cthulhu Spiritual Development and Healing Energy Activation System. So all you do is you just look at it, and the lines will move. And when the lines start moving, healing is activated. So, maybe I'm watching TV and I feel, commercial comes by. I stare at this. Commercial's over with, put down, watch the rest of it. So that's how I worked all of those things in. And that's what I attribute to my feeling really, really great after all of that. And I just came out around it. So I, you don't even have to know Jin Shinjitsu, you can do this, you want to get it, and you could use that symbol. So basically these 4 healing modalities, they dealt with mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And so it's like, don't okay, I'm still recovering, I'm taking it slow, doing one thing, being careful, but, so I thought that I would offer this to you. You can do it yourself, but if you know a healing modality, so work it on yourself every day. Why do it when something flares up? Work on it, bing, 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 So it works. So, thank you.
There we are. And to be with all of you, when I come to Circle as a spark, there's a process that's automatic, and I'm sure I'm speaking to people who've experienced this. where my everyday life takes on more of a profound awareness, because I have in my heart what it is I want to share when I'm with you, and that affects everyday life. And it's that in itself is a blessing. And then to be with you and to experience the interconnection, the oneness that circle is, that is so obvious, so evident, that we appear to be separate creatures, but there is what Thich Nhat Hanh calls inter-are. We inter-are together. And he says there should have been such a word in our vocabulary. He has recently passed, one of my heroes, Thich Nhat Hanh, but he talks about a continuation. There's so many bodies. You've just recently been consciously working on several of them, but it goes on and on, continuation body. In any case, whether you're out there in the Zoom world or right here, I can feel the oneness. The oneness for me is not a philosophy or a belief. You know the expression beyond belief? This is beyond belief. Well, circle is really beyond belief. And I would like to begin with a Zen koan, and I will offer this one. What is your original face before your mother and father were born? Just be with that for a moment. What is your original face before your mother and father were born? Now, these koans are obviously meant to still the mind, the thinking mind, because the thinking mind cannot possibly have an answer to that question. And so since it can't, there are no words that could possibly answer that question. It points to the truth that is already inside us, that has to be felt directly beyond words as a ringing or a response, something that is beyond thought. And another one of my heroes who I'm going to see in October in Philadelphia is Eckhart Tolle. And among other things, he speaks about the evolution of humanity. Right now, the major evolution is the transcendence of thought, moving beyond thought as an identity, so that instead of an identity, it becomes what it is, a tool, quite a powerful one, and can be a blessing, can be a curse. And we've all lived that. I mean, this is nothing new when you look straight at it, where our thought as a tool can be very pointed and powerful when you're driving the bus. But when it's driving the bus unchecked, it quickly becomes confused, negative, not helpful. And this is an individual thing for all of us, and it's also a collective thing for humanity. And we can see very clearly this moment that there is a consciousness rising. It's not just in this room. It's not just in this Zoom. That rhymes nicely. It is in the world. At the same time, there's almost a de-evolution, an unconsciousness that is becoming more obvious. It's not pleasant. It's the evening news. But if we come from the place of the universe, of the whole, and we have the perspective to see the entire thing without immediate judgment, I think we can see that even the unconsciousness has a role that it is playing, where it becomes undeniable and the world is watching it. There's no hidden world anymore. Everyone sees. And so the slap in the face, the shakeup, just as it is for you and me, and you have experienced in your incarnation here, that shakeup can be a great wake up. And perhaps, well, not perhaps, obviously necessary, but it wouldn't be. There's this awesome perfection of the universe, and humanity is not outside it. We can't separate ourselves from the universe. Well, there's humanity, and then there's the natural world, and then there's the stars and planets. We are all part of it. And the planets are doing just great. The stars are doing just great. The black holes, my 8-year-old is really into black holes. It's all happening, and it's all somehow perfect, far beyond our capacity or need to judge. And since the seasons continue to come and go, and the days and nights, and the orbiting of the planets around the stars, as far as the Webb and the Hubble can see, and beyond, there is a perfection. If there wasn't, we wouldn't be sitting here. Just any slight change, it wouldn't, it's so amazingly perfect. It's mathematically perfect. So this perfection is difficult for me to see on the evening news. And so it might be difficult for you. But that is a human judgment when we immediately place a good or bad. Okay, so formless, timeless, changeless. That's the basis for my spark today. And I think I'd like to begin with timeless. And timeless is the reality of now. And it doesn't take Eckhart Tolle for you to realize the power of that, because this moment is real. Everything else is comparatively not a fiction. The past can only be contacted now in our heads. The future is a concept that never comes, and we can use it as a tool, but you can only contact it in our heads. This moment is reality, and the cool thing is, it's always this moment. It is an extended, put it this way, this moment is not about time. This moment is the only thing, it's not really a thing, but I'll use words, that does not change. So this is how timeless moves into changeless. This moment, you know, where they say, what doesn't change? Well, death and taxes. You know the expression, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, but really what doesn't change is, I mean, sure, the taxes change. And when it is that we transition, changes, but this moment now, and I'm teaching this to 4- and 5-year-olds, this moment is fresh and new and full of infinite potential, and nobody can argue with it. And there it is, And it is not a moment in time. That's just a thought. It is reality. Now, it's always now. The Mets catcher, who was also a great, deep thinker and a very humorous guy, Yogi Berra. He was really underrated, absolutely amazing ball player, but he was a very wise man. And there are quotes like, they'd say, "Hey, Yogi, what time is it?" He'd go, "You mean now?" I wanna find a book or a documentary or something. I think there is a documentary on him. Eternity is right here with us. This is eternity when we are fully present. Because eternity is not endless time. Eternity is the timeless. And we are experiencing this if we are aware as human beings that this moment, completely fresh, like an artist's palette that hasn't been painted on, or a page in the author's book that hasn't been written on, it's always complete potential, complete fresh, complete freedom if we are appreciating the present, if we're aware that we are present. So mindfulness is, for instance, defined as bringing our attention back consciously, when possible, to this moment and without judgment or reactivity. Because as soon as you judge or you're reactive, you're back in the thinking mind and in the unchecked thinking mind that immediately goes back to experiences that you had in the past, and you're drawn back, and you're no longer, your body is here, but you are not, because we are our attention. We are that awareness. So to live in the real life, from my view, is to be here now, to live the real life, to live. Now, here's the thing. We all get lost in thought. We all get lost in a bad mood. We all have challenging days. But mindfulness says, come back like a walking meditation to this moment and come back with a smile. Oh, you human being, you. Look how you were gone for 6 minutes in that daydream, right? But no judgment, a smile, a deep breath, just like when you're meditating and you notice you are no longer present. You're no longer watching your breathing. There's no mantra, whatever it is. You come back without any noise, without adding any noise to the mind. You come back gently without reactivity. And the same thing is true when we're walking around here and when we're speaking to each other. If you notice, you're back. You are then who you really are, the knower, the awareness, the consciousness. So that the timeless now, eternity, always, that leads us to the changeless. And my Swami teacher and friend, Chanji, he was here and in Wycombe. And he would say, what is real? And we'd go, he'd say, think about this, be with it. What is real? And we'd go, we wouldn't know how to answer. He'd say, what is real is what is timeless, eternal, changeless. And we're, with our thinking minds, trying to think about what is my experience of, everything changes. Oh, my relationships have changed, my body is constantly changing, my personality is evolving, my life circumstances are changing, the news has changed, everything inside and out is changing. But well, how do you want me to answer this? There was a shakeup. The question is a shakeup, like a Zen koan that you really want to know what. He'd say, what is real is what does not change. You, the knower, you, that awareness. This personality is, oh, it's like, he says, it's like a jacket. It's like clothing. Hannelore called it the earth suit. The space, the earth suit of mind, body, personality. And it's awesome. It's a blessing to be here in this earth suit. But it's constantly changing. It has an expiration date. I remember in her last weeks, she would talk about her expiration date. It's so freeing and liberating to come with a sense of humor to because when you see that that is not truly what we are, there's a freedom from fear. There's an expression, die before you die. And what that is about dying to the illusory, mind-derived sense of self, dying to that, so that the fear of the earth suit disappearing is not the same. There's not the same. You know what you are that is changeless, timeless. Now let's talk about formless. My favorite quote from a little children and adult book called The Little Prince is Saint-Exupéry saying, what is essential, that is our essence, what is essential is invisible to the eye. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. I just love that. I just love that. What is essential, our essence, is invisible. We are conditioned to be aware of forms, our own form, the forms around us, the natural world, but we are not conditioned to have some attention on the beauty of space. That is the space in this room. We are in awe of the night sky. We don't know why, but we all are. AWE of the beautiful night sky. And let's consider this. The atom is almost completely empty space because the distance between the nucleus and the energy around it, the atom, the distance comparatively is vast. And the distance, that's the microcosm, not even the most micro, the distance in the universe between anything that's considered matter, all the planets and stars and asteroids and whatever, and space, it's 99.99999% space. And then we're thinking about the Big Bang, which certainly blows my mind in a nice way. And we say, the first thing you think is, well, how the heck did that happen? From complete, what appeared to be emptiness is all of creation. And the answer is that the great sages of centuries ago and the modern quantum physicists are coming together with the same seeing, the same knowing. And that is that what we think of as empty space is not empty. It is, I was going to grab something to read it, but I'll try to put it into my own words because I'm not a physicist. It is a dynamic field of intelligence, energy, creativity, and potentiality that is beyond anything you can think about. What we look up and see as emptiness. My Zen book, my little Zen book that's good for the car, you know. Okay, so this is a 20th century physicist, H.P. Staff. And this is going in a little bit of a different direction, but I wanted to go here too. An elementary particle is not an independently existing, unanalyzable entity. It's not a separate entity. It is, in essence, this particle, a set of relationships that reach outward to other things. No way my thinking mind can understand that, but I'm trying to feel it, and I'll read it again to you. An elementary particle is not an independently existing, unanalyzable entity. It is, in essence, a set of relationships that reach outward to other things. Now, here, a 2nd century Buddhist philosopher named Nagarjuna said, things, all of matter, derive their being and nature by mutual dependence and are nothing in themselves. Things derive their being and their nature by mutual dependence, and they are nothing in themselves. Yes, thank you. The Buddhist writings, there's a Heart Sutra that has to do with how wow. Let me just see in the minute I have here. I was reading it this morning, so I might have it. I do. The Heart Sutra emphasizes emptiness is not nothingness, but rather an absence of an inherent existence and separate entities. It is the potential for all things to arise. It's a state of luminous openness, full of possibilities. That's what the Heart Sutra says. Quantum physics says the quantum world is characterized by probabilities and potential states. At the subatomic level, particles exist in multiple states all at once, and when they are observed, they change, highlighting the concept of the potentiality and the interconnectedness of all things. So our attention, the quality of our consciousness and the quality of our attention actually changes the reality we experience as human beings. Now, this is not anything new to any of you, I feel. I feel as though you've lived this, but you might not have heard it put that way. So imagine the entire world as the human world, the natural world, all of Earth as an enormous lake. And sometimes there are waves, and we are part of the waves. And what the quality of our attention is like a pebble in the lake, and the ripples go, and they go, and they go, and they touch all of us. People we don't ever meet, people we don't ever see, organizations, all of humanity is touched, and the most powerful, profound, loving service we can be to all of humanity and all of the world and all of the planet is to wake up as much as we can and be as conscious and aware and loving as we possibly can.